Okay, this is my review for the 26th annual Survivor Series, live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Very, very fun show, and I'm sure people are going to ask right away, was it better than the TNA show? Yes, it was. I enjoyed it a lot more. I thought it had a lot more meaning and kind of stories that are developing and stories that kind of are going further in storyline. So I'm just going to run down the match one by one, starting with the opener, which was a Survivor Series match, classic Survivor Series match. And at first I was like, oh great, they're going to have a bunch of throw-in shows, but this match between Brodus Clay, Justin Gabriel, Tyson Kidd, Rey Mysterio, Cara versus Tensai, Primo Epico, and the Primetime Players was a great way to start the show. And their match on Raw they had with I think it was an 8-man tag, Primo Epico and then the Primetime Players versus the four, Sin Cara, Rey, and Gabriel and Kidd. Very fun match. So I was expecting the same thing, just adding two more big guys in there. And Brodus Clay was eliminated pretty quick, but just some highlights of that match was the little spot they did where Rey and Sin Cara hold the middle ropes open, and then you got a suicide dive. Then they go into a springboard moonsault, and Sin Cara did not mess anything up, which I think is very surprising. Brodus Clay was the first one eliminated by Tensai, or no, not by Tensai. Oh yeah, it was by Tensai. It was a senton by Tensai. And there was a lot of roll-ups as well. First, Tensai was eliminated by Justin Gabriel by a roll-up, and then Titus O'Neil was eliminated as well by a roll-up. Titus O'Neil was eliminated by Tyson Kidd by a roll-up. So it looks like a lot of roll-ups are going on. And speaking of roll-ups, this has nothing to do with roll-ups, but line of the night. I know a lot of people were commenting on the commentators. Cole, or was it Cole or Jerry, asked JBL what's written on Tensai's face, and he simply replied, "A pizza menu from Japan." I laughed. I thought it was very, very clever of him. I don't know why, but whatever. Sharpshooter was applied by Tyson Kidd, and he eliminated Epico with that. And finish was pretty much all these guys hitting their finishers on poor Darren Young. You had a 619, then you had a springboard moonsault, a springboard elbow, and then Rey Mysterio dropped a dime, and of course a swanton bomb by Sin Cara. But a very, very fun match. I enjoyed it a lot. Great way to start off the show. And then the Divas match. I did not enjoy this really, and not surprised really. Eve was putting on these MMA triangle chokes and just killed the whole crowd as if they were hot for it already. But this was just unnecessary. When it comes to Divas matches, if you're going to do submissions, make sure they'll get the crowd going, not put them to sleep, because I think that's really what they did. And there was a point, I thought, where Kaitlyn was going to win, but she just went on a huge fury of offense. But at the end of the day, Eve just pulled the apron, and it looked like it kind of got messed up. Kaitlyn looked a bit hurt, but then hit her neck breaker, and Eve wins. And they showed the pre-show of both teams backstage, Team Ziggler backstage picking Otunga, and then they showed Team Foley backstage, and everyone's bickering at each other. And I thought this would lead to more of a story during the match when Randy Orton was not bickering. He was really just sitting there, and then Foley said, "Are you with me?" And Orton just said, "I hate you," and walked away. Thinking a possible heel turn, but not yet. And then United States title match, Antonio Cesaro versus R-Truth. Nothing really special, really, just neutralizer. It was a very, very slow-paced match, and considering Antonio Cesaro is such a great wrestler, really watered him down during this match. Crowd wasn't into it, and he just nothing. Just was just a raw match, really. Nothing really special about it at all. Then I thought it would be a shitty segment, but it turned out quite hysterical for myself. AJ coming to the ring and showing photoshopped pictures of Vickie Guerrero eating a burrito with Ricardo, smothered in barbecue sauce with JR, and dancing in a hotel room with Brodus Clay. And Vickie said, this is preposterous, and I'm your boss, you can't do that to me. And AJ said if Vickie touches her, that she will also be fired, considering that AJ will be fired if she touches Vickie. Then we had a world title. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. Video package. And the video package was good. It kind of went over the whole highlight thing. There was a parking lot brawl on SmackDown that I missed, but from what I saw, it looked pretty good. And match was just like their first one. A little bit of a slow pace, but they had spots here and there to really liven the crowd up. One main spot was the electric chair drop by Sheamus to the Big Show, and Sheamus is so strong. Like, you see how this guy maneuvers around someone who's 450 pounds. It's unbelievable. Sheamus is so strong. But the finish was a brogue kick. Sheamus went to go hit it on Show, and Show pulled Scott Armstrong right in front of him. Brogue kicked him. They had the doctors run in there and rush him, and then Sheamus is all worried about him. Turns around, walks into a knockout punch, and then the referees were arguing, and they reverse the decision. Big Show loses, but keeps the title, so he got disqualified. Big Show's yelling at the ref, and Sheamus just beats him up with a chair, and pretty much setting up a match, I think, for TLC, being a chairs match. And Big Show's pleading with him, and Sheamus is like, I want you to beg, fella, I want you to beg, and then Big Show begged, and he threw the chair and gave him a brogue kick. So, next pay-per-view, I guess, will be the big blow-off for the two. Then we had Team Foley versus Team Ziggler. Now this match was I don't know, when you think about it, how many weeks ago? At least 3 or 4 weeks ago, you had Team Punk versus Team Foley, and everything, like literally everything, got switched around. Like, Team Punk at the time has lost like 2 guys, that the leader, like 3 guys, right? They lost Cody, they got a new leader in Ziggler, they lost the captain CM Punk, and then they lost the Miz, and it's pretty much a whole new team. And then you had Team Foley, which just lost Ryback and then gained the Miz. But a really big shuffle in the teams, but it turned out okay. You know, I wasn't really expecting much. I was actually surprised they even had 2 classic Survivor Series matches, so I really can't complain. But the match was good. The eliminations came, Sandow being eliminated first by a chokeslam, and then Kane and Daniel Bryan started arguing for some reason. Oh, because Daniel Bryan pretty much did all the work, Kane just got the chokeslam in, and Dolph Ziggler just hit a zigzag, and then Kane's gone, and then the bullhammer fist or whatever Wade Barrett calls it to Kofi. Kofi's gone. Cross arm breaker by Del Rio. That I was surprised that Daniel Bryan got eliminated. Skull crushing finale to Barrett, eliminating him. And Miz getting very, very good babyface reactions. I'm quite surprised how over he is so quickly with the crowd. And then we had Enziguri to the Miz, and that eliminated him. Del Rio did a lot of kicks, springboard, like 1 foot on the ropes and then 1 kick to your face. I think he hit at least 4 or 5 of those during this match. Finish pretty much came when Foley got the Socko in Ricardo's mouth, and Randy Orton did whatever. Eliminated Del Rio with an RKO, and then Dolph Ziggler and Randy Orton had their little finish where near falls left and right. Randy Orton went to go for a punt, and Ziggler hit a Sweet Chin Music. Like, I was like, damn, this guy just knocked Randy Orton out with a Sweet Chin Music, and Ziggler won. Foley looked disappointed. Randy looked disappointed. And I'm sure they're not even going to do anything with this, because I'm sure there was some other plans regarding Punk and Foley, but that, I guess, is scrapped out the window now. In the main event, John Cena versus CM Punk versus the Ryback for the title. Cena debuting in new gear, black and yellow. He should have worn this when he was in the Nexus, but he wouldn't even put it on, and here he is repping the colors once again. A lot of triple threat spots. You know, one guy does this, one guy does that. It was a good flowing match. Quite enjoyed it. Ryback was no-selling everything. They're kind of showing that Ryback is an unstoppable force, and he looked very strong in this match. Although, like, when you saw him, like, get beat up, it was so awkward to see, because you're not used to seeing that. And even Cole and Lawler and JBL were mentioning it, that this guy's so dominant, you're not used to seeing him in this kind of, like, situation. But anyway, Cena had the STF on Ryback, and then that led to a double team by Punk and Cena when they realized that Ryback was a major threat. A double suplex through a table, which led to a very, very good back and forth from Cena and Punk. I thought it would be over there, but They really teased it, like every near fall. I was on the edge of my seat for. Cena kicks out of the GTS, Punk does the AA, and then every guy hit their finisher, and like CM Punk got hit with the shell shock, Cena was about to get the shell shock, and then you had Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and I forgot the other guy's name. They run in, they were in security guard outfits, they beat up Ryback, and they sent him through the Spanish announce table, and Cena was still down from the shell shock from Ryback, and Punk covers him, 1, 2, 3. Punk lives, Punk retains, Punk gets to see 365, and I think, well, I was talking about in my video that they should have Cena versus Punk one-on-one to really like let him pass that 1 year, but I think since Cena did get pinned, it's not going to happen. I'm going to see where they do. I'm really looking forward to see how Rollins and Ambrose are going to be used, because these guys are pretty much independent, huge independent stars who just went into the WWE since '09, and John Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, left a couple years ago. And now they've been called up, and it's only looking good from here. These guys are such great wrestlers, and I think they will bring a new style and a new, thing that is not there on the roster right now. But looking forward to it, big things, even a little stable between, I think everyone's been talking about that, like a stable with like Punk, and if you guys didn't know, in the CM Punk DVD, he talked about Seth Rollins and how he came to Punk's ROH school while Punk was training at the ROH school, and he was good, but he had no money. And it's cool to see it come full circle now that Rollins helped Punk at Survivor Series and survive almost. So, anyways, look forward to that, and that's the Survivor Series 2012 review. Overall, good show, and I'll see you guys in the next video.